to let people hop on.
That was so much fun too, if you remember. I can't
In all
remember.
reality, we very rarely like on time. People kind of expect us to
Yeah.
be on later.
Yep. I can't even remember what was going on. Like, I came to the church, and then it was like, hey, I got a message or hot message. Like that too. I would have laughed if it would have went fly right on that face. You know what's That's what I said would have been perfect. You know why because it's funny for everybody else to hear it. Looks like he's gonna shoot us.
Yo, welcome to Real Talk Live. The talk is real, the entertainment is cheap.
Very cheap.
my name is AJ. This is Blake.
Hello.
This is our good friend Norman.
Hi guys.
Oh boy. What-
That's one of those times I wish. Part of me wishes they could see what was happening
No.
behind the camera, but I'm also like, we get canceled
We
so
get
quick.
canceled
Yes.
immediately.
Oh my
man.
gosh. The best part too was Norman trying to talk and AJ going. Anyways, all right. Hello, welcome everyone to Real Talk Live.
Yo.
Like AJ said, talk's real, but the entertainment is cheap. But today, you guys have an opportunity here with us to chat in the sections below, in the comment sections, ask us questions about life, God, the Bible, us individually, whatever you guys want to ask questions about, and we'll answer it to the best of our abilities.
All right, man. We'll chop it up.
Yeah, and if you want to ask anonymously, you can ask at our anonymous link at www.theremnant.life/real-talk.
Boom. There it is, man. Well done.
Instantaneously, anonymously, it comes in. We couldn't find you if we tried. And there's been a few questions that we've wanted to try.
It's
and we
true.
have. Unsuccessful.
Unsuccessfully, yes.
But
Well done. I like
Listen,
it, man.
man.
Good intro.
listen, I'm here for it. Okay,
good stuff.
this is it. This is what's happening.
You gotta start strong after the intro.
I
There.
know. Listen, we were.
There's no option.
we had to come in hot, otherwise it was not going to go well. But introduce everyone, like AJ said. This is AJ and Norman. Norman's been on our live for. You've been on. What,
Couple different times, yeah.
a few times. So he's back. He brings really good stuff to the table.
Absolutely.
It's going to be awesome. Over here to my left, the guy, the somewhat myth, the man himself, fun guy Austin. Oh, he almost did it again.
No.
Fun guy Austin. He's got fun stuff for us coming up. You guys will get to hear from him in a moment. And in the back, manning the station, the button pusher, the button masher, the typer, the man, Fun Turn Clint.
Hello, hello.
There he is, man. There he is.
That's right. We got an awesome show.
I'm
tonight,
excited,
guys.
man.
It's
I'm
gonna be
excited
good.
for today.
Or there's also Clintonius Pilot.
There,
Antonius Pilot, that's
there
right.
it is.
Let's
Yes.
see. What's up, Brandon? So Brandon's not going to be able to join us long. Good to see you, brother. Hope work's going well.
Yeah, man. Hope it's, what's up, Lindsay?
Hey.
Hey, Norman.
What's up?
Hello, man.
Juan Guan, y'all. What's up, Josh? What's up, John? Hey, y'all.
Hello,
if you
hello.
haven't already, share the stream if you haven't.
Share
We
it.
got 8 people on. Share the stream.
That's right. Share it so we can spread the word.
That's right.
All right. How are you guys doing out there? We want to hear from you guys.
That's right,
How you
man.
guys doing?
What's up, James? Oh, hey. What's up, Denise?
Driving, so I won't be responding. Hey, it's all right. We're glad you're here.
Yeah, appreciate you listening.
Glad
Cool.
all of you guys are here hanging out with us. Share the stream. Post it in all your favorite social media chats, whatnot.
That's right, man. Get
gonna
your
be a good
Facebook
time.
Groups on.
Because here in just a minute, we're going to hit our first segment.
Yeah, that's right, man. I'm excited.
Oh, dude, I don't know.
I'm honestly not excited.
No,
I'm just
fun
kidding.
fun guy was going around showing it to people because we just got done with youth group.
Yep.
And he was going around being like, hey, look at this. And I'd walk over, he'd go, no. And then every person was like, oh,
no.
that sounds so good. Yeah, sounds awful.
Oh gosh.
He said he didn't like it, which is not typical of him. But
Makes me nervous.
Means it's dangerous for us.
it's true. What's up, Charlie? Greg.
Yo.
Hola.
Nice.
Nice.
Josh, working on a car.
Car.
Nice,
Ooh.
man. Good multitasking. I like it.
All right. Nice. How many knuckles you banged up already?
I'm gonna guess 4.
4? I'm saying 3.
All of them.
All of them. Everyone. But
7. No way. 10.
we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and slip into our first segment here. That is Real Random. Where typically we do some sort of challenge or we try things for your amusement, typically resulting in pain and torture for us.
That's right.
Fun guy, what do you have for us this week?
All right, guys. I have something real special today.
Oh boy.
Let me come around here.
Oh, gosh.
I'm really hoping he's not as serious as what he's talking about.
Josh has no comment.
Oh, no.
So, for those of you who may not know, I personally don't like this type of item. I think it's the worst thing in the world.
Oh, no.
What we have today,
Okay.
some enjoy, others hate, like myself. We have the world's most sourest soda.
Oh, jeez.
What?
This is a real random, and I hate sour things with a passion. So I do not.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a different. I didn't expect this, man. I'm gonna be
This
lying.
is not what I was ready for.
No, me either.
I'm
Not at all.
I'm actually almost excited.
Interesting. It's called Stang.
Yeah, we got Stang, the world's most sour soda. It's blue raspberry flavor.
You ready for this, Norm?
No.
Listen, man, it's about time we almost reach out to this company too and try to see about a sponsorship.
I have.
You have? I'm guessing.
Waiting on a response.
Waiting on a response.
Nice.
This would be the
Nice.
perfect time if you ever want to get funny pictures. This is the time to
Now
have
it's probably gonna be
your
the
phone's
time.
ready.
Yes.
We're gonna pour some glasses here.
Oh boy, dude, it looks so good. It looks yummy.
It
but I'm
does.
Also nervous.
I mean,
Nervous.
you guys know I love sweet and sour things.
I have not tried it yet.
Oh boy.
So he just keeps pouring the most of mine.
So
Nice.
same thing, gentlemen. We will rate flavor
And then
and this time sourness.
Sourness.
I don't like sour things.
Oh boy.
boy, I love
John
this.
says a sour
Or
beverage.
Yeah.
That's right.
Did you
You're
just see?
doing
Oh, you missed Austin's face.
Oh boy.
Did you drink it?
So,
that's my cue to leave.
That's
All
my
right.
cue to leave.
So
All right,
we got
boys.
Stang sour soda.
I think the best
Right.
thing is just go. Don't
Just
even
go
try to
for
sip it. Just
Cheers,
go.
fellas.
Cheers.
Interesting. I
Hey,
actually
that's
like
not
it.
as bad as what I thought it was going to be.
Interesting.
Look at Austin's face.
The interesting thing, because you know my love for candy and sour things,
It's got my eyes squinting.
it doesn't taste sour, but it feels sour.
You know what's weird? I feel it in my chest.
It just stayed right here.
Anyways, all right, so we got flavor and sourness. All right, AJ, what you got?
Flavor, I'm gonna give it like a 5, man. That was actually kind of tasty. It was. I liked it. Sourness, I'm used to heat. Sourness, I'm gonna go with I'll give it a 4.
4?
It made my eyes squint.
I would give it probably about a 5 for the sour. And I actually really like that, so I'm actually going to give it a 7 for the taste.
Okay.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
It was really good.
Dang.
Now, I just realized, you know what this reminds me of taste-wise?
Jolly
This-
Ranchers.
No. Close, but not quite. The sour goo. Have you ever had the little tubes of sour
goo?
Yeah,
I've
you
never
get,
heard of
get
this
like
in my life.
ooze and goos that's sour. It's one of my favorite things.
You're so happy about it.
You know, like 3 things in this world make me happy, man. Sour
Magnets.
things are one of them.
Yep, magnets, sour things, and what would be the third one?
Oh gosh.
Jesus.
Hey, there you go. Nice.
Not
Way to go,
nice.
Norm.
Say.
But
Not
yeah, I'll say sourness. I'm gonna give it like a 3. Wasn't like I said. It weird part. It didn't taste sour. It just felt sour.
It's kind of still staying there a little bit.
Yeah. Flavor. It was pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Yeah,
me
it
give
was
it a
pretty.
6
It was good, solid
It was pretty
taste.
good.
Nice.
Austin's definitely disagreeing.
You know, fun guy. What do you give it?
I don't like it, so
He's not.
lowest rating on flavor, highest rating on sour. I can't stand sour things.
Wow. So,
I'm definitely a spice type of guy. Like, I'm sitting here saying y'all can't handle spice stuff, but yet when it comes to sour stuff, I can't do it.
Dude, I will say I just took a little sip again, like just a little bit, and I think the less you have, the more sour it is. Maybe? No.
There's none left in my cup.
I
I just went for it.
every last drop.
Yes.
Yeah, Trent says mildly disappointing. I was hoping it would be worse for them.
I can still grab something else.
No.
I got
Listen, I tell you what. If we get to 30 viewers at once,
30.
we'll do a second real random segment.
Hi, Darlene.
Got to get 30.
30 people.
30 on Facebook at once. That's,
I don't know
that's
if
what
I've
we're going
seen
with.
Fun turn more excited. Or fun guy.
Fun guy.
Fun
Ooh,
guy.
be
Oh no,
careful
what's
now.
that
Be
face? You trying to debate what you're going to do?
I'll have to go make a stop real quick.
Oh gosh. So you guys get to 30. Fun guy's gonna go make a stop and make some sort of deal with a shady dude on the side of a street for a second real random that would probably destroy us. But
Oh, man.
you guys ain't gonna get it. You gotta have 30. It's not
That's
happening.
right. It's not going to happen. You guys won't do it.
Hey Darlene.
It's a challenge.
How's it going?
We doubt you right now.
But
Trent says, please, Austin.
yeah, please do.
Hey, it's really not on Austin. It's actually on you guys.
It's true.
Get 'em.
But all right, so like and share, guys. If you guys want to get to 30, so we have to do something far more probably entertaining for you, but far less enjoyable for us.
Yes.
Gotta get to 30 viewers at once. But we'll go ahead and move on to our next segment, Remnant Roulette. Give it a second for the music. I always enjoy it when I'm back
too,
there.
man. It's fun.
But Remnant Roulette, where it's your opportunity to win a prize coming straight from the Real Talk team. So here in just a minute, Fun Turn Clint is going to read a question to you guys. You guys got about 5 minutes to answer it.
5 minutes.
Afterwards, that gets taken down, and your name, if you answer it on YouTube or Facebook, I'm watching out for the Tube crew today. Your name gets put into a list, and we randomly select a winner.
There it is, man.
But you guys stay on through the entire show because at some point near the end, we'll announce the winner.
That's right. Got to stick around,
That's right.
fam.
So this week's Remnant Roulette question: what do we got, Fun Turn?
What is your dream job?
Nice.
Oh boy,
What
dream
is-
job.
Yeah, what is your dream job? Ooh.
Boy, what is your dream job?
Let's see. Well, I can tell you this much. When I was a kid, my dream job was probably baseball player.
Nice.
I wanted to play baseball really bad. And then when I was 17 through 1920, I wanted to do music. So I played in a band and tried to make it in music the best I could. Didn't go very far. but that was a dream job of mine as well. So, and then also a wrestler. I want to be a wrestler at one point in time too, man. So I trained at 19, trained again last year for one day. It's true. It was fun. It was a blast. That's right. Old PGB here was with me.
That's right.
It was fun, man. So those are just a couple for me.
Yeah. Norman?
Okay, so mine would probably have to be a video game tester.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not expect that.
Sitting at home, getting paid to sit at home, play video games.
Yeah.
Count me in. Or
Yes.
or an oceanographer studying sharks.
That makes more sense for me.
That seems more on par.
Oh yeah,
Either one.
absolutely.
Yeah, he's like
Or
I'll take it.
both.
Nice. Test the video games while you're.
While you're
In the,
out on
do,
the
these,
boat.
do these games work underwater?
You'll be
Dude,
the-
VR.
Oh gosh.
Oh man, getting out
All
of
right,
hand
what do we
now.
got? Listen,
see.
James, I just read your comment. We can see who's viewing, so if we see a bunch of burner accounts, the count goes up. Every burner account adds another 10 views.
Yeah, that's right. Every burner plus 10.
All right.
Let's see here. Denise says volunteering around the world. Jada says acting. Nice.
Heck
John
yeah.
says writer or artist. Alex, a medical, was it stenographer?
Yep.
Nice. I can word sometimes. Charlie says worked for NASCAR. Heck yeah, man.
What do you want to do, Charlie? Do you have anything specific in mind? I'm curious.
Dude, I'd
a good
imagine
point.
being in the pit crew would be intense.
Oh, dude, it's insane from what I've seen.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Trent says making guns for a living. If not, that I would make a living from running a tree farm / garden nursery and selling the produce. Nice. Well, Trent, you're doing half of it, buddy.
That's true.
Let's see. Greg says building and testing robots. Nice. And Lindsay says, what is this?
Yeah, try pronouncing that.
Is it equestrian therapist?
That's right. Yeah.
Wow. Now, what exactly is that? Do you know?
Be a horse
Really?
It'd be with horses, working with. I'm assuming like a question in physical therapy. I don't think you're gonna get much out of a horse if you just ask him why the long face. But
Yes. What about you, Blocky?
oh boy, I kind of went all like as a kid. Going back, the first thing I ever said I wanted to be for the longest time, from like probably like second grade until like my sophomore year of high school, was a pastor. Like, that's what
so
I told.
cool, man.
That's what I told people. I was like a preacher, and then I went through like a year where I was like, I'm gonna be a lawyer.
Nice.
And then I realized there's like 10 years of school, and I was like, I'm not gonna be a lawyer.
Jesus. Yes.
No.
And then it was, oh gosh, it was after that a history teacher
Yeah.
and coach. And then it kind of swung back to like, man, I just want to be able to work with kids and do stuff like that, and still be able to coach, which that's what I'm doing now. Is
Yeah, dude.
youth pastor, and then I get I coach in the fall the boys tennis team.
Pretty cool, man.
So
B2B sectional champs.
that's right, back to back, baby.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
And you
But,
actually coach our softball team too. Both
That's
of them.
true too. That's true. I do also coach both of our softball teams. I guess if I had to throw something else in there that I'm not currently doing, would probably be like a college baseball coach.
Nice, man.
I
That's
think
pretty
that would
cool,
that
dude.
would kind of be like that'd be pretty dope.
What sport?
Baseball.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, definitely baseball. I do miss baseball a lot, but yeah. Let's see what we got. Charlie says Pit Crew, the gas man.
Nice. Yeah. That's the giant Nola,
Yes.
right? Yes.
Ugh.
That's awesome. Let's see here.
Okay, Lindsay, I got you. Provides therapy to special needs and disabled people utilizing horses. Awesome. My grandma actually has an organization that does that.
Really?
Yes, that's the. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Lindsay. It's called Ride with Faith.
Hmm.
They actually started here in Columbia City, and I believe they're in Albion now. Question
pretty-
mark.
That's
But,
wild that
yeah.
lined up.
That's what she does. That's pretty cool. So if you ever want to get connected with someone, I know someone.
There it is.
Awesome.
See,
Zeke, play video games or
Makes sense.
landscaping.
Sounds kind of fun.
I'm going to. I can tell you. I can tell you from experience, it's not. It is not fun. I've done landscaping for a couple of summers and back in high school and stuff. It is not fun.
I hate pulling weeds
Those
at
are
the
two.
house.
Those are two different. Like stay inside and
Yes.
sit down and do something, or like one of the most active outdoor jobs ever.
You always go to a beach party, Zeke. Make that a dream. of
Yeah,
yours.
there you go. Josh says being a
Inside jokes are
handyman.
fun. Nice. It's you. Oh, hey, Trent says landscaping is pretty fun. It's just pay isn't great.
That's why it's not fun.
Yeah. Oh man.
And it's seasonal.
Mm-hmm. Has it been 5 minutes?
Yep. All right.
All right.
So, you guys, everyone that answered that, you guys are going to get added into our anonymous database, or not anonymous database, into our list of people, and we will choose someone. My goodness, words are hard, guys.
Aren't they?
Wow.
Dude, I get it.
We'll
man.
choose someone randomly
There you go.
to be the winner, but you got to stick on till the end of the show
There we go.
if I remember how to word right.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Zeke says, I will accept beach parties as a profession. Nice.
That would be dope.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Jane? All right, cool,
All right.
man.
Hello. So,
Well
cool.
done. All right, man. Moving on. So, as you guys know, we have our friend Norman here. There he is, smiling. Nice big smile. Look at him.
This guy.
Look at him. Finger guns. So, we like to do a little segment called Get to Know, where you guys get to know our guest who's on the show today. So, Norm, we have some questions for you, my friend, so people get to know you better.
Let's go.
That's right, man. I'm excited. These are this is usually this is something that he's very good at. But
Well, first, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
perfect. Well done.
So my name's Norman. I'm a Capricorn. So I'm going here to the Remnant for. I used to be able to count in softball years, but there was a,
There was a
there was a
few that
time
we
that we
didn't,
were
yeah.
not able to
Uh-huh.
to use that. So I think it's probably close 6-7 years. I'm on our connections team, the children's church team. What else am I on? If you call it the media team, I help run the camera sometimes.
Yeah, man. Yep.
And then we have like a little, if you want to call it like an off section to the connections team. It's a connection and care where reach out to people throughout the week. We got a list of people we reach out to just to kind of touch base and make sure everybody feels loved and connect them on that as well.
It's awesome.
Pretty cool. man.
Let's see. My wife Allie, she goes here as well. Just want to say, I know if she's watching. Just remember, I was a member here first. It's actually she actually was coming here before I was, and there was a time that I stopped coming, and I still became a member before she did. So
That's awesome.
then we have 2 kids, Ian and Lily, and then I did get permission before, so we're okay. We're actually expecting another one here in June. So
That's awesome, dude.
so
Yeah.
thank you.
Heck yeah. dude.
Ian's not excited as much because it's actually on his birthday. so he's like, he can't have any of the name that's anywhere close to Ian's.
You should do it.
I want to.
Cool, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on, Norm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You've been
Thanks for having
you've been like such a good guest over the years, man. I know Blake mentioned earlier, you've been on a couple times on live and even on some of our pre-recorded from the web series. So great guest, man. I'm excited to have you on.
Would you say you're stoked?
I would say I'm stoked. This guy. I used to say stoked every single week for the intro. For those of you who don't know, I'll do the intro to our Sunday services sometimes, and I used to say I'm stoked to be here every single week, and he just
Norman
ever since
would lose
Norman
it.
every single time.
Every time.
Yep. So Norm, got some questions for you. First one: what are your top 3 hobbies?
Playing sports,
Okay.
playing video games,
Okay.
and then hanging out with friends and family.
Boom. There it is, man. Nice. Quick fire. I love it. What is one quote weird thing on your bucket list?
Well, I don't think it's weird, but I would love to go diving in the water with sharks.
Dude, you're
So
wild, man.
I haven't decided though if I would love like the free diving or
do.
the cage. Because if you ever watch the video, there's actually some pretty kind of scary videos out there where sharks like jump on top of the cage and yeah.
Yeah, the cage doesn't actually help. It just
No.
it makes you feel safe.
Exactly.
There's no actual.
Saw a dude sitting on a plexiglass. He was on a plexiglass.
Yes.
Did you see that? And
Yes.
the shark busted through it.
Yep.
That was terrifying.
You see the one they made this fake kind of like plastic seal to look just to see if it would attack
Oh
it.
my
Yeah. Oh yeah.
goodness.
It was intense.
Jeez, bro. Let's see. What would be your perfect meal?
Perfect meal steak. Steak as the main,
Okay.
bacon as a side.
Bacon.
Side of bacon.
Exactly, because it also could go main too. Bacon goes with anything. Love macaroni and cheese.
Nice.
Some mashed potatoes,
Yeah.
and then some kind of cheesecake.
Man,
Nice.
you got it planned out, man. You
Oh
ready
yeah,
to go. I love
oh yeah.
it.
It's just nothing healthy.
Jane's got a couple follow-ups here.
Perfect.
What kind of sharks? Do you have like a dream, like
Great whites.
your great whites?
Be the craziest. See, a lot of people they actually when they saw Jaws, they made them scared of sharks. That actually, in my
That-
mind, made me like sharks after watching that movie.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And then Greg says he would dive with toothless sharks. How do you feel about that?
That's a cop out. Little gummy sharks. Greg like throws them in the bathtub.
We're diving with sharks the other day.
Oh man.
Okay. How do you cook the steak?
Ooh,
You go medium rare.
medium rare.
I'm okay with that. Anything past like medium well, and you just
Yep, you lose it.
yep. Steak wrapped in bacon.
Ooh, there it is, man. Ideas. If you could sit on a park bench with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Kobe.
Kobe. Man, that was just quick
Just-
fire, man.
just knew
Why
it.
Kobe?
Kobe was awesome. He made me. I think he's the closest, and this is going to be all for our basketball fans out there. He's the closest to MJ that there is. I don't care about what people say with LeBron because Kobe just had the whole different that Mamba mentality. I mean, that just even watching some of his video lately, it's just his mindset was completely different. Like the practices that he would like, if you're not there for practice, he wouldn't give you the ball in the game.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Heck yeah, man. Let's see.
People are agreeing with your steak. Everything but the bacon is what Denise says.
Let's see. Oh, I lost my place. My bad. What are 3 things you completely believe about God?
That he's real. that He loves us, and that my salvation is secure.
Ooh, it's good,
Nice.
man. I like
Heck
it.
yeah, dude.
Norman, killing it. Let's see. We'll do a couple more. How do you like to show and receive love to and from others?
I'm definitely a physical. I love hugs.
Nice.
That'd be the same. Like, I love getting hugs back.
Yeah, dude.
Cool.
Absolutely.
That's awesome, dude. Just not high fives.
Yeah, just not high fives. High fives. High fives, they can happen, just not after game winners.
That's right.
No post-game celebration
Nope.
high fives.
Nope.
Would you want to be famous? If so, what for? So, first question: would you want to be famous?
I would say part of me says yes, but also no, because I wouldn't want that to go to my head. And I think that there's that temptation for it to go to your head.
Oh, sure. Absolutely, dude.
But also yes, because I mean, if you're famous, you usually have money, and you know I am with money. I'm always stressed about money, so not having to stress about money would be amazing.
Okay, so the side of you says yes. What for? What would you want to be famous for?
The money.
Oh.
That's a good question.
Something comedy. Like, America's Funniest Home Videos. It's just my life.
So
Exactly what I do.
a reality show that's
Exactly.
that people think is a made up comedy, but it's really
really
just
not.
everyday life.
Just to GoPro on me constantly.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that's great, dude. All right, man. That has been Get to Know with the Norm. The
Norm
normality.
Man.
The Norman, the normality, the Norman Jackson.
The Green Goblin.
Green Goblin. That's right,
Oh, boy.
man. That's what we'll go with.
Oh,
Cool, man.
all right, awesome. So moving on, we're gonna give you guys here a few minutes to throw any questions you guys have, whether it be in the chat
See
or
what John said?
anything. What-
He said that we should have a great big hug.
Nice. should have a group hug. I'll throw my hug in the ring.
I third it. Oh, boy.
Listen, stick around. We'll see what happens. I think this, yeah.
That could be like, hey, you know what? If you actually like the Remnant page and you check it tomorrow, maybe that could be the picture we send out.
Hey,
There you go.
there you go. The
Giant
post
group
is just
Exactly.
a giant group hug. That's the post picture.
That's a good idea, man. I like
Oh
that.
man. But here in just a few minutes, we'll move on to questions. Until then, all right, AJ, how you
Yes.
doing, man?
It's a good question, my friend. Let's see. We got a lot. So it's been, for those of you who watched the latest episode of Real Talk, speaking of Real Talk, actually, I need to address a couple things before I go any further. One, this week was supposed to be episode 200 of our Real Talk web series podcast. I just want to sincerely apologize to you guys for not having an episode out yet. We're going to be doing some special stuff. I'm excited. Hope you guys are excited too. I am sorry that nothing went out this week. We will have something this upcoming week for you guys. I promise you that. Also, this is random, but I just thought about this. Oh, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, and then forgot to check my notes before the show started. So, especially the real ones out there real quick. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the real ones. There will be an episode. You guys are awesome. Thank you for supporting us. You mean the world. It's so cool that you guys decided to partner with us. Secondly, as far as Real Talk Live, next week prompts will be on the top of the screen. It's going to happen. So next week, prompts will be on top of the screen. Questions and everything. So
Let's go.
with that being said, I almost forgot about it. With that being said, it's been an interesting week, man. If you guys watched episode 199 of the Real Talk podcast, I got pretty emotional on there, and it was an interesting episode, man. And one thing that I'm learning right now in life is, what I've said it before, but I'm starting to really feel the weight of what I do affects people. And to be real, this is real talk. So, I would say that, God is still good, man, but I'm definitely in a hard time right now, trying to, figure out, why I do the things I do, so one thing, that I can talk about is I tend to have a hard time, getting motivated, I can see there's only been a couple things in my life that have just been super motivating to me. So, first one was music. I was just so into music, and that's, I talked about it earlier as a dream job. I got into music, and I wanted so badly to succeed in that. And like, I just wanted to keep pushing, keep trying, did that for a couple years. And that was one of the few things. After that, for a long time, I felt like I didn't really have a purpose. I didn't really see much, in life. And that was before I was saved. When I found out about Jesus and I met Christ, man, like that was a fire. That was a motivation I'd never felt before. And for a while now, it's been a hard couple years, man. So like for a couple years now, like, it's been hard because, that motivation has kind of slowly faded. And it's funny because I actually watched our first episode of Real Talk, our web series. It was the pilot. And it was from like 2018, like late 2018, I believe, 19. I think it was 18. And I actually talked about a slow fade on there, which is so interesting. Yeah, I talked about it. So like, it was like, one thing I talked about was like, man, like, and it just, I don't know, it hit me. So I was talking about how when you are, living, when you're walking it out and you are following Jesus, you can, when he pulls you out of situations, you can just feel that weight lifted and you feel so good, right? And then I remember thinking to myself, I don't want to forget what you've done for me. I don't want to forget it. And I forgot, man. I forgot. Over and over again, I forget. And so one thing I'm learning, man, is like, how I guess the question is, how can I keep walking through life confidently, but also how can I keep walking through life not forgetting what he's done for me, whether it's in the bad times or the good times, So just trying to remain consistent in that. So in a nutshell, that's kind of where I'm at. But like I said, man, God is still good, dude. Like, I can look at life right now and I know that, if it wasn't for Jesus, if it wasn't for, him bringing me to the remnant to be on this journey I've been on for 6 years now, like, I don't know where I'd be, man. Like, I definitely wouldn't have a purpose because, man, before I came here, dude, I was just a zombie, and that's the truth. I was just living life day to day, not talking to people, just sad. Like, it was rough, man. It was a rough time in life. So, like, Jesus pulled me out of that, man. And, like, so I'm still thankful. I'm just in a weird time. Been in a weird time for a while, and, like, I don't know, man. I just want to get back to where, I want to get back to really walking it out. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so like when you mentioned the part about, you're trying to remember like who God is and what he's promised you and stuff, like has there been any steps you've taken tangibly to remember that? Like what are you doing,
That's really good, man. Great question. I would say that one thing that's something I need to work on. I would say I haven't done a good job of taking tangible steps. I think that I tell myself I'm going to, but then when the moments come, I don't. And that's probably been one of the problems with why I am where I'm at. So, I can tell myself all day long, like, all right, man, like, don't forget this moment where God showed himself to you, even if it's in a small way, right? It's still, it was inspiring, right? Well, the next day it's gone. It's like, well, you have to be intentional, right? So like, praying, reading, and actually doing it for real, like, I know one thing that's really affected me over this stretch is that I haven't taken that stuff as seriously as I needed to. So like, for me, a tangible thing would be taking the stuff serious, like actually doing it and doing it with conviction, man, and like believing it. That was one of the things that lit me up, man, when I was first a believer, was just reading. Oh, man, I just couldn't get enough of it, So it's like, man, what happened there? Like, why is it not as intriguing anymore? So, like, trying to figure out, one thing with me is I can get so enthralled with the why that I just don't do anything. So, like, for me, it's not necessarily focusing on the why now, but it's just doing it. So that's kind of good question, Blake. So like, yeah, I would say tangible things. I tend to not take a lot of tangible steps, and that's been my problem. So, for me, it's taking prayer more seriously, taking reading more seriously, community even, like just because you're around people a lot doesn't mean you're in community all the time. Like it has to be intentional. So like, yeah, that's just a few examples where I could be better for sure.
Yeah, that's good, man.
That's good. The one thing I would encourage you, because something I've been looking at this week is you can see the goal, but you have to have a plan to get to the goal.
Absolutely.
So, and then you have to execute that plan, because you can say, I want to do, I want to read my Bible more. So you're constantly hit the wall. So we talked about this a little bit last week, is you just have to do it. Like it could be something as simple as getting up a half hour early, an hour early, and just dedicating that time, setting it on your phone,
So good.
and just got to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really good. Jane, I like that a lot. We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, boy.
But she put something in there I think will be pretty interesting to talk about. But no, I agree, because I think, that's even been that's kind of been something we've been talking about with like Remnant House and men's group and stuff too, is the fact that like there comes a certain point where you can no longer just say like I want to or I'm going to, or you can no longer just talk about it, but because 90% of the world will sit around and talk about wanting to change or wanting to do something. But
100%, man.
there comes a time where you just got to go, okay, now I'm going to do it.
Yep.
Whatever the it is, And I think, because Lindsay said she was right there with you.
Yep.
Like take advantage of those times. Like, for like you brought up a really good point. Like when it comes to the prayer and it comes to reading, like take that time seriously. Set it aside.
Yep.
Because we can all, I would bet, of even our church members, probably 90% of them get the verse of the day from the Bible app or whatever, and that's it. That's all they read, right? Which is good, but like, are you catching it while you're reading your Facebook notifications, or even if it's just the verse of the day, are you taking time to read it and pray on it and go, okay, like what's God trying to teach
And
me?
actually, take something from
Meditate.
it. Yeah.
Because there's a difference between reading to read, reading for comprehension even, and because that was kind of the hole that I fell down, reading a lot, was like I would read to understand but not read to receive. I wouldn't read to actually learn something, just as long as I could say I understood what I read. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that there is a difference there.
Definitely.
So no, I think that's good, man. And for you, like you said, like taking those times seriously.
Yeah.
So cool, man. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing.
Of course, it's real talk. Live.
That's right. Norman, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. So, messaged AJ yesterday. So I have this thing where I really struggle with motivation as well. And so started last week. I just got tired of being unmotivated. And so I'm like, okay, this is kind of my problem. What I realize is why I get so unmotivated is because I carry a lot of weight. Because I have expectations, like and goals that I want to get to, but I don't share them with anybody. So then when I don't share them with anybody, there's no one that could encourage me, to help me remind when I'm doing it. And so I took 3 goals and made plans for them. So for the end of the month, my goal is to read the Bible every day.
Yeah.
And lose 5 pounds by the end of the month. And then doing so how I did that was like by some sort of workout.
Yep.
Or walking. To read my Bible was putting an alarm on my phone. Like, so you have to have a plan.
Yep.
And then the other one is for my career is I sell things. So my goal is to have a sale by the end of the month. And so my goal was to get out and knock more doors. So how was I going to do that? Was get out and knock more doors.
Yep.
So yesterday, it was nice enough out that I actually got out and walked. And so that was kind of my way of, okay, these are my goals. So that's going to help me with that. So
Yeah, dude.
just trying to apply those this week and look for opportunities, because if I can't say at the end of the month that I tried everything, then I don't get to complain if I didn't meet one of my goals.
That's cool. Yeah. No, I think that's really wise too, because like you said, a lot of times we have a tendency to be like, well, I'm going to do this, but there's no action plan and there's no actual accountability to it.
Yep.
So even you, because you said you told people too, right? Like, well, so you have people to encourage you, but also keep you accountable. Like, yo, man, you've been doing, whatever, you've been going out, you've been knocking extra doors, you've just been sitting at home. Played a couple extra games of Madden.
I wish I could play that.
Right? But like, no, that's cool, man. That's cool to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah, and keep walking that out, because eventually that stuff does, like, there is a benefit to
Absolutely,
doing that
there is,
stuff.
man. Heck yeah, it's really
Yeah.
cool, Norm. Appreciate that she shares
problem.
it, because speaks to me too, man. So it's good stuff. But you, Blockade, how you doing, man?
Oh boy, this week, man. You know a little bit of what
I
happened
do.
this week.
I do know. But
It's been one of those weird weeks where nothing has gone like how I planned it to go. Literally nothing. Monday I was catatonic like all day. Like I slept until probably I think it was like 5:30 Monday. Like I was gone to the world. And typically when I sleep that late, I'll like wake up and fall back asleep. No, like it was straight
Dead in the world.
straight through dead of the world.
Out.
So like my whole Monday was pretty much gone, or what, like whatever. And then Tuesday came, and I was supposed to help a family member go do something, and I was under the assumption it would be like a couple hours, right? Like we were supposed to go pick something up. So I left about 2:30 to go help them. I think I'd be back no later than like 5, right? I'm like thinking 5. Got back after midnight.
Jeez. Wow.
It wasn't entirely their fault either, because it was my sister. She asked me to help her, but like we had so many weird things. Like we went to go pick up a couch, and then like it started to rain, so we had to stop and put tarps on the couch in the pouring rain, and then there was all sorts of stuff. The truck that we used, the brake line blew. Thankfully, after we had dropped everything off, so like we weren't driving down the highway, but like I tried to fix a brake line at like 11 o'clock at night with
In the
like
dark.
a t-shirt, some tin foil, and duct tape. Like that's what I had. I was like, let's see what happens. So that happened Tuesday, and then yesterday, we had a worship team kind of meeting.
Yeah.
And typically Wednesday's our rehearsal day, right? Well, we didn't get to actually do an actual rehearsal, but we got to have a talk that like was beneficial. Like it was good. So I don't, and then which I told all the youth leaders this today. It made me worried about youth group because I was just waiting for. I was like, the rest of the week's already been crap, so I'm just waiting for whatever to happen tonight, right? Thankfully, nothing.
Smooth sailing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been an interesting week. The interesting part is, I was telling you guys this Tuesday about everything that happened. It was, it's like 1 a.m. and I'm just getting home and I'm like, I was so exhausted just because of everything that happened. Like I caught myself like I wasn't like, I didn't feel like it had put me in a bad mood. Like I was still hanging out with the guys, having fun. Like Wednesday when I got up and everything, even after that, like Tuesday night, even after I got back, I still went to the gym and like worked out.
Yeah, dude.
Like so, like it was still good, and like it was kind of that moment where I could think back and realize that like maybe not even that long ago, maybe even 6 months or whatever, had that same thing happen, like my week would have been absolutely destroyed, and I just would have been like angry and bitter at the world almost, but it was cool to see that like the week can completely, even one day can go completely, kind of chaotic, and I can still be on the other side of it and be like, hey, it's cool. It is what it is.
Yeah, man.
So
What would you say has been that difference then? If you said like 6 months ago, you wouldn't have responded that same way. So what's been that change?
I would say overall, I'm definitely in a much better place, like spiritually. Definitely that. So like I am in the Word more. I'm praying more. Like, and I think one of the other things is I'm trying to think of how to put it. I wouldn't say I'm like life is necessarily like super happy or anything, but I think I'm in a happier place and more content. I think.
Yeah.
I'm more content with where I'm at than what I was. And so I think there's there's a little bit of that, of being like, okay, like like this went crazy or whatever, but like look at everything else, and everything else is still like chill. Like like even amidst all this chaos, right? Like Tuesday, I still went and I got to buy a book that I'd been looking for a while, and like I got to start reading it and stuff, right?
Yep.
So like I started to be able, so like there was that kind of stuff too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, let's see. We got some new people hopping in.
What up? What's
Emma,
up, new
James,
folks?
hello. Allie's on.
Yo. Hello, everybody. Thanks for sharing, Blake.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate you, man. It's
Absolutely.
good stuff, man.
What we got up here?
You've been doing a lot of good stuff.
No, thanks, dude. I'm gonna take this for a second.
I got Gabby's comment.
Chaos partner. Hello, Allie.
partner.
No,
Greg's-
that Allie and Gabby literally are, they call them chaos partners. So
Oh, boy.
when something goes on, they just want to go doing something. They just,
They just do it.
yep.
Greg says, I listen to worship music or preaching to start my mornings. Gets mind focused on Jesus, communicating with him. That's good. Hello, Allie. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Yo. What's up, Juju?
Hello. I think, yep, that's Trent's response to Gabby's question. She asked what book. Huh. Ironically, I started the Driz series. Drizzed. I started Homeland. I found the one where it's the first 3 books because I have 4, 5, and 6 already, but I didn't have 1, 2, and 3. So I've been waiting to read those until I could read 1, 2, and 3. So I finally
There it
found
is.
a
It's
full.
like Star Wars where you can't. They're all.
I got 4, 5, and 6 before 1, 2, and 3. But yeah, guys, hey, remember, drop your questions here in the comments. Over on YouTube as well. I got you YouTube group and keeping an eye on it.
That's right.
They've been a little crickety tonight.
Crickety, huh?
Yeah, chirp chirp.
I like that word.
But you can also ask anonymously at www.theremnant.life/real-talk.
Boom, there it is.
If you don't feel like dropping it publicly in the chat, and we'll receive those as well. But let's see here.
Cool.
Okay, so Jane says, I was watching Fox News today while I was at the gym, and there was a story they were doing about how women are now outnumbering men in the workforce. They were discussing the downfall of masculinity and how feminism has empowered women but sort of destroyed men. It was interesting because it was a secular source, but I've noticed the same things. Curious to know what you guys think. What is the balance in this issue? How do we encourage more positive masculinity in our culture?
Interesting. It's actually pretty interesting. The fact that Fox News was covering that because it's interesting. Let's see. I would say, how do we find that balance? I mean, I think that, one thing that we've talked about for a long time on Real Talk, just overall, on the podcast and here on live over the years is like, there's been, kind of a quote from a book called Wild at Heart by John Eldridge, that it talks about that there's been a war against masculinity that's been, it's been going on for a long time, and trying to take away that masculinity from a man, and if anything, it's been replaced with, more of a feminism, not feminism. That's not the word. What's the word?
More like feminine culture.
Yes, that works. I can't think of the other word. So yeah, and that's just when that happens, it makes sense that men are having a hard time remembering who they are, and men are goal oriented. I've been taught that a lot over the years. By our pastor Todd. He talks a lot about men need a goal. And they need to be in action. And when they're not, man, if they're bored, if they're bored, then they're sad, then they forget their purpose, and then before you know it, they're not moving anymore. And and then you get your cut. They get their legs cut out from under them because if they try to be more masculine today, this feminism movement has went against them. So I think that to find that balance, I think that there needs to be a mindset shift again of letting men be men again, and what that looks like, especially, Jane, you talked about, more women being in the workforce than men. I think that if men can rediscover who they really are again, that first off, I think that will change. But also I think that will naturally balance out this whole idea of men being men again. So hope that answers your question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just my thoughts.
Yeah, and I would agree with pretty much everything you said.
Yeah.
And Trent said here, I think it starts young. We recognize that boys are in fact boys and not just poorly behaved girls.
Yeah.
Boys are going to play rough and be a little wild. Boys also need positive role models. A majority of homes don't have the father of the child in them anymore, plus the majority of school teachers are women. As a result, many young boys don't have any masculinity in their lives to set an example of what it means to be a man, let alone guide them in the process of becoming a man.
Well said, Trent.
Good.
I think that's
Well
really
said.
good. And the part Jane put in here, where was it? They're discussing the downfall of masculinity and how feminism has empowered women but sort of destroyed men. Yeah, because at the end of the day, this whole feminist movement has not been about equality.
No.
It never has been. It's been about making sure that everybody knows that women are better than men. Men are this, that, and the other. Women, are superior in this way and that way. And, and also I think that comes, you said it came from Fox News, which is a secular source, right?
Yeah.
It comes from a lack of knowing what the roles that God has destined men and women to be in. There's not that knowledge isn't in the populace, right? Like that's not a common thing.
Yeah.
And so you have all these women who are trying to behave like men. And so what are the men supposed to do? If, you know, the average male, you know, we know today, we talk about it here, the guy gets married, what happens? He gains 50 pounds, sits on the couch, drinks beer, goes to bed.
Yep.
Right? And somewhere in there, maybe he works, or maybe, like, you know, we're seeing here, maybe he doesn't even work anymore.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's been that shift, that paradigm shift of what used to be sort of commonplace wasn't. And now it's not. And we know, you know, even from the other side of it, that Jesus is always going to be countercultural, right? Like
Absolutely.
That's part of it. And so when Jesus was around, he had to teach the husbands, hey, you only get one wife and you better love her.
Yep.
Right? But now it's going, hey, you got to freaking take charge and, like, run your household. And that includes going to work. That includes, you know, taking care of bills and house chores and stuff like that, you know, making sure those things get taken care of, leading your wife biblically and spiritually.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny, she says that this, you know, they're seeing this happen in the workforce and in the world, but it's happened in the church with a capital C, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Women, there's more women ministry leaders than there are men, right?
Yeah.
If pull up, you know, the nearest church down the street, and I'd bet you $20 that if you look at it, other than like your senior pastor, maybe an associate pastor,
Yep.
nearly everybody else is going to be female, right? Man. And, you know, it's children's ministries, youth ministries, all their ministries are led by women.
Yeah.
Because men aren't wanting to step up. And it goes back to what you said and what Trent said. We're teaching boys at a young age that they are inferior to women, right? And so this is what happens. We now have a world that is being ran, right? Not really, but ran by female leaders and women that they aren't destined for that role.
Yeah, that wasn't the God design.
Women are not designed to lead in that sense, but they're all. But see, this is where the feminism movement gets twisted on its head, because there's things men are not meant to do.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
we as men are not as we are not natural nurturers. We are not natural, like, caretakers. We are not, like, that's not what men are destined to do either. And so you have both sides trying to do jobs that they're not meant to do.
Yep.
And so the world just goes, what do we do now? And then, you know, you want to talk about all the, you know, sexual stuff that's happening and sex changes and
That's right,
all that stuff too. Like, it all comes from that. So yeah, Jane, I agree with what you and Trent said. Like, I think that feminism has destroyed what it means to be a man, because it was never about equality. Because equality means that they're equal, but they're not the same.
That's right.
Men and women are not the same.
Nope. That's good, man.
I think one way it's infected the church. I actually heard this saying, and it definitely rubbed me the wrong way. It's the happy wife, happy life. So that is, to me, it doesn't actually encourage compromising. It just encourages just the guy to just give in. And so when you're giving in and just trying to make the wife constantly happy, like, you're actually putting weight on her as well that she was not meant to carry. So for Gabby, for how do women encourage masculinity? I would say guys don't want to admit it, but we definitely are, especially when in a relationship, we want those words of affirmation. We want to hear, hey, you're doing a good job. Even though we might not say it, we want to hear it. Because if you tell a man what he's capable of, what you think he's capable of, that's going to drive a man to do more than telling him how he's failing in an area. Because if you encourage a guy in the strengths that he has, instead of pointing out his weaknesses, he's generally going to get more excited to go out there. He's going to want to do those things. We should already want to lead our families. We should already want to go out there and work. We should want those things that God tells us to do. But when we're hearing from our spouse that are in a relationship, hey, you know, I see you. Like, you know, and it could be something simple as, hey, you know, I know you're tired. I saw you took out the trash, you know, thank you. Like, something we already should do, but like recognizing that they do have, that your significant other has had a long day, or whatever it is, and then something as little can go a long way.
Yeah, I think that's good, you know, and I think kind of like what Trent said too, is it starts young, letting boys be wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
men, like, you know, if you want to put old roles on it, like men are meant to be the warriors that are going to go out and battle for things. and
Yeah,
win.
absolutely.
Like that's the role that we're destined to do. And so by trying to kill that in a young boy or even young men, it gets very dangerous.
Absolutely.
You know, and we struggle with that in youth sometimes. We have a bunch of boys that are, you know, they're very wild, they're very wild-hearted, and it's a very fine line to tame that without killing it. So
Yes.
it's teaching them how to tame the wildness without killing that spirit.
That's right, man. It's really good.
And I like the fact of like also, if I'd encourage you guys, especially the guys who have kids, allow another adult man into your kid's life. I know me and Allie were talking about this even last week. We've actually seen a lot of cool things with Ian, and that's directly related to your, you know, relationship, you and Austin both. Seeing him as an actual person and not, hey, that's Norman's kid.
You know?
Like, so when you see a kid as the individual that they truly are,
Yeah.
allow those, because they're kids. I mean, we were all that. We never told our parents everything. So
Right.
having that opportunity for those kids to go in there and tell an adult leader, hey, you know, I'm struggling with this or whatever. Like, as parents, we can't see that as a negative thing. Like, well, why would you go and tell Blake or Austin, not you know, not me? Like, you know, we were that same kid. We didn't
Right.
we don't want that.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate, you know, you and Austin's both the way that you guys have, even the Ian's silliness, like always ending on the ground.
Listen, man, it
Always.
happens.
So so just encourage that, like, and reaching out to the kids. Don't wait for the kid to come to you. Like, so our church is, it's easy for us to say that for our church because we are just so naturally close to each other. But yeah, definitely finding somebody that you can. Ian, half the time he's like, "How's youth group? Good." He won't tell us, but like I know that I can trust that you, Austin, you know, any of the other leaders, that, you know, you're genuinely you got what's best for Ian and mine. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Well, thanks, dude. I appreciate that.
that's
And
good.
Ian is a cool kid. Alex, we'll come back to your questions here in a second. But yeah, because Emma says, I think a great way to encourage masculinity is to ask for help and accept help, even if you don't necessarily need it. If a guy offers to help you carry things or take out the trash or whatever it is, accept their help and be grateful.
One thing that came to my mind as far as, you know, how to help encourage masculinity is also being willing to accept what a guy's role is and letting him do it. So like, you know, even if that means you having to surrender and sacrifice some of the things that maybe even you're good at, but allowing them to take that lead role and then follow, which is not always easy, you know, but like, you know, that's part of it too. And also, you know, for women out there, like accepting your role too, you know, even if that means like you have to kind of peel back the layers of maybe what you've been taught your whole life, because maybe it is different, especially in today's world. Like you might have been taught differently. You might have been taught more of a masculine way as a woman, even. That's possible. But like being willing to accept your own roles as a woman too, and then focus on that. Focus on, you know, succeeding and how you can better, you know, fall into that role as a woman too. I think that can also help. So
Yeah. Jane says something here which kind of ties back to Alex's question. So she said, growing up in a church as a woman, a lot of times I was sort of discouraged from leading and going to college, things of that nature, because I am a woman and it was my role to stay home and raise the kids. So it's all that was expected of me, and I was the odd one out for wanting something different. Do you think that women who aspire to have professional jobs or leading in some capacity is wrong? Because Alex also asked, like, are women not allowed to encourage or lead, and how do you find the middle ground with that?
I definitely think that women can encourage and lead. Like, absolutely they can. I think that they can be an encourager and a leader of women. Like, so like that doesn't have to include men. Like you can be a leader of women. You know, I think that with men having that, you know, that God design of naturally being a leader, you know, I think that when it comes to like you coming together, yeah, I think they should, you should kind of, again, focus on your roles as a woman of like, okay, like, how can I support that masculinity? In some ways, it's letting him lead, right? But that doesn't mean you can't lead in other places. So to me, it's like, yes, you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. It's not, wanting to pursue a professional career or something like that. That's not wrong.
No, not
right?
at all.
That's not. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think it's realized, and like you said, AJ, there's nothing wrong with women leading in the right context, right?
Yeah.
Like you can lead other women, you can, lead certain things. But when it comes down to it, when it comes down to decision making time, or when it comes down to whatever, that's what men are designed to do.
Yep.
Men are designed to be that leadership, to be the leadership, to fill those roles.
That's right.
And because we've seen a lack of it in in modern Christian culture, even, right, let alone the world, like, if the men haven't been stepping up, so who's left to fill the roles? So that's part of the reason the feminist movement got so much power and so much traction, was because, like, they're like, okay, well, like, if men aren't going to do it, someone has to.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, and I think everything you guys have said is good.
Yeah.
One thing I was thinking too, listening was, because it almost sounds like we think whoever makes the most money, that's the one leading. And I don't think that's true. I think that it's very possible for women to, that's my opinion, I don't think that there's anything wrong with women making more money than their spouse. Like, if you've already went to college, you've already had that established before in your relationship, like, that's something that you should talk about before, like, you sit down and get married and say, hey, I went to school for this, I'm in this position, like, and then I think a way a husband could lead in that situation is, knowing that, hey, you do make the more money, so you might be stronger in this one area. So where do I need to step up in another area? It might be, you're doing this, you're making more money. Well, I'm going to lead because I'm going to take more of that weight in the house stuff because I'm home more. That's kind of one rule that we have with me and Allie is whoever's home more, that's who's more responsible for that, the chores that day, because it all always changes. There's some days that I'm home more, there's some days that she is. So it's whoever, the leading does not have to be whoever who's making the most money. And I think that our brains default to, that's how we judge things.
Sure.
Who's leading is who's making that much more money.
And I think that's good, because I think at the end of the day, it's coming together, right? To realize what both of you can bring to the table and what those roles look like. Because at the end of the day, in a marriage, for example, in that marriage, if both of you come together and you decide, she says, oh, well, I'll take you and Allie. Like, Allie says, okay, Norman, like, you have to do all the chores. And you go, no, I think it's best if we do this, right? Your leader, like, the leadership role in that situation is going, you take the input and go, okay, that's a good idea, but I still think this is what's better, right? Or it's going, actually, you know what, that is a good idea, and choosing to do it, but doing it out of the context of, like, love and knowing and trusting that that's what's best, right? That's, when it comes to marriage, that's the important part, is that it's taking the information and choosing whatever path it is that you believe is the best for you and your family or whatever.
It's good, man.
Yeah, so like Alex asked, I guess, with the church ministries, children's church or meal ministry, is it wrong for women to lead in those?
No, I don't think so, because if anything, like, you can still appoint women to a leadership role in that, especially when that, to me, if anything, especially those two ministries, that's like caretaking, that is hospitality. Like, to me, like, not only, I'm not saying men can't fulfill that role, but a woman can definitely fulfill that role. That to me almost kind of falls naturally under the like that womanly design that you were talking about earlier. So no, I don't think it's wrong for women to like lead in those areas. They're appointed. If anything, like, appointed by men. Hey, this is where we can have you. This is where we can use you here, right here. So
Yeah. And about to have our second off-screen emergency
that's
moment
right.
on Real Talk Live.
There's no noodles.
But yeah, is Norman dying? No, he's okay. We're good.
For now.
But Emma said, like, she follows someone on YouTube, which is cool, and she said, I don't think there's anything wrong with pursuing a career or anything, as long as it doesn't lead you to neglect your home husband or kids.
It's good.
You know, and like that's, you know, the women are supposed to be like the caretakers. Like
Yeah.
that's the role that they're designed to do.
Yeah. It's good,
So-
man. I like it.
Yeah.
Good
Awesome.
questions, y'all.
Yeah, and keep throwing them in. You can throw them in the chat. You can, like I said, we have our anonymous link, which is also somewhere in the description here.
That's right. I'm keeping an eye on it, y'all.
So, nothing new yet.
Nope, nothing new.
All right.
Let's see.
Alex says, okay, so I got it. Understanding roles and how each person can play a big part in the plan. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, and just realizing that's, men and women are called to do different things.
Yep.
It doesn't make one more important or less important than the other, but just knowing that that's how God designed us.
Absolutely. It's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Let's see. That would put us to.
Well, Jane asked, so what does neglect look like? I think neglect looks like knowing your role and just not doing it.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. Oh boy. Juju's about to open a can of worms. On a different note, who killed JFK? Juju. We don't have time for this rabbit hole. I got
We
so
don't have time for this rabbit hole.
Fun guy's over there pumping his fist.
That's amazing.
I think that's a question. That's an answer better left for not on here.
Yeah.
You know, what you could do is, if you're not already, we do have a link that you can give. And these are the types of questions that may or may not be on this. So it's www.theremnant-real-talk.
.life.
/give there.
give,
So
there
if
you
you give $30 a month,
Oh, I see. What
you actually get your
mean.
bonus content,
I see.
and then the bonus content actually gets you some real talk after dark.
There you go,
So
man.
those kind of questions may or may not be on there. So
There you go, man. Well done, Norm. Nice. Didn't know where you're going with that. And then I saw it. I was like, oh, clever.
Nice. He's a professional. This
He
one
is,
almost,
man.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, Jane, I think it's just, you know, is your family suffering because of it? I think that's the big thing. You know,
Yeah.
is there things with, you know, with your household, your kids, your husband, whoever, you know, whatever, are they suffering because of that? And
Yeah.
that would be the same thing for men. That one's almost separate from the men and women.
Yeah, that's equally 100%.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So awesome. Oh man, I really want to answer Juju's, but I know it's not going to lead anywhere good.
We
Ooh,
try.
Denise says her dad was in the CIA. Then Denise, I have questions for you.
Oh boy.
/ your father.
Oh man.
Anyways, all right,
inside job.
cool. So, what do you think? You want to do a couple questions?
Sure.
A couple of the other ones?
Let's do it, man. We'll probably here in the next couple minutes announce winners from Winner
Nice.
Roulette.
All right. About you say 9:45.
That works for me.
9:45. We'll announce roulette winners.
Boom.
All right. Cool. So we'll go question number 1. All right. Christians seem to be either angry or sad. Why is this? And what's the appeal in that?
I'm not going to disagree with you. I think that a lot of the time Christians can be angry or sad. You're right. And why is that? I think there's a couple of things. First off, it's a broken world. We still live in a very broken world where there's a lot of sin, and you know that can bring people down. You know, I don't know about you who asked this question, but you know, I can definitely feel sad when I think about the situation of what the world's in, including myself. You know, now the hope of the gospel should bring a lot of joy. That I will agree with. I will say, and you know, we say it on Real Talk a lot, but Christians should be the most joyful people in the world. We should be. But we're not a lot of the time. Why is that? I think that we don't take our faith seriously enough. We don't see it as real enough, you know, and we don't live out of it. We don't live out of how real all this is.
It's true.
And I think that we just tend to, and we also get sucked into the world. You know, we forget that we're, you know, when we put our faith in Christ, we are different creatures. We literally, you know, we are separated from the world, but we still want to play in the world. And I think that's why we're sad and angry. What's the appeal in being sad or angry? There isn't one. There is no appeal in that. I think that, you know, that's probably why, you know, sometimes an unbeliever can look at Christianity and think, why would I want to be a part of that? Because all they see is just angry and sad people biting each other. So, you know, good questions. You know, there is no appeal in it. So that's what I got.
Yeah, absolutely. And John says if Christians are angry or sad, it's because they didn't choose joy or forgot to choose joy. I think, like you said, at the end of the day, it's a lack of faith, and it's a lack of trusting. Because if a Christian is angry or sad, they're not truly following, right? Because like you said, it should be like we should be happy. I'm not saying you're not allowed to be sad or upset ever. That's not true. But what we live out of, right? There's a difference between feeling sad and walking around for 6 months like the world's ending.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like there's a difference in that. And I think that's kind of what they're getting to is when we have to realize that what we say and how we look can either bring people to Christ or push them farther away from people that don't know him.
I really like that, man. It's really good. Yes. It makes me think about like what you said is good. Like there's going to be moments where you are angry in this life and you are sad when you're a believer, clearly. But like it's just like how, you know, it's what's your response? What's your response to being angry? What's your response to being sad? You know, and that can really show people your faith. And a lot of the time, like you said, we just sit in it. So that's a big problem.
I think also the times for me that I realize that I'm the most angry or sad is I haven't been reading my Bible. I haven't been praying. And then I'm not in community with other people.
Yeah.
And so I think it's why that we're so angry and sad is because we isolate ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're not allowing the people to walk it out with us, to see us in our weakest moments. Because if we're honest, like if I'm honest in those moments, I think people are going to leave because I don't think that they're going to love me if they saw me in my weakest moment.
Yeah.
And so, which is not true, but when you're by yourself, it's easier to start listening to all those lies that are in your head.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the biggest. I mean, one of his biggest tools is isolation.
Yep.
And so then he starts whispering all the lies. So if you're already doubting yourself, and now you're hearing all these lies, so it's like a 2 versus 0. So you're already in a lose-lose situation. So I would encourage you, if you are feeling sad and angry, you've got to internalize and process, where am I truly at? Am I doing what God said to do? Am I in community? Am I reading my Bible? Am I reaching out to people?
It's good, dude.
Yeah, that's really good because that's, like you said, because the appeal in doing it as a Christian, there is none. And then on the other side, doing those things leads you to the other side of joy and peace.
Which is what you're talking about when you were saying that you're in a better spot now than you were 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you caught that. You said that I'm reading my Bible more.
Yeah, dude. And it's all, like, it's all true. And it makes sense, you know. It's one. I always come back. You know, there's a guy who wrote a book. Like Todd talks about him all the time, just because of how cool of a story it is. But like, not a believer, pretty solid atheist. But he was like, I'm just gonna live like what a Christian should for like a month or for a couple months or whatever. He was like, my life was 10 times better. And he didn't even believe it. He was just following the rules. He didn't even believe the actual thing.
Yep.
So it's definitely convicting.
It's wild, dude. It really is wild.
And all right. So it's about that time.
All right. Remnant Roulette announcement of thy winner.
The winner for tonight. Remember, you guys have you have 2 minutes to respond. 2 minutes to
And
respond.
no tagging people.
No tagging people.
Love it.
If they're in the same house and they're not watching, don't go get them.
Nope.
They got to be on.
That's right.
Winner number 1, assuming they're here. John Leininger.
John,
John.
you're the winner, my friend.
I almost called him the name he doesn't like to be
Don't
called.
do that.
I did.
Don't do that.
I almost did out of just like, hey, we're just going to. John, if you're there, let us know you're there, and we'll get you down to win your prize.
That's right, my friend. John, are you here? I saw you just commented, so I hope you are, unless you literally just hopped off.
That would be so
It
unfortunate.
would be unfortunate.
Yeah, see, he even said something really good.
Yeah.
He did.
Where there's freedom in Christ lies responsibilities like staying consistent in the Word and attending church every Sunday.
Yep.
He's on.
He's here.
Yep.
Congrats, John. You are the winner of
You're the
this
winner.
week's Remnant Roulette, my friend. Awesome stuff. You will
Nice.
get your prize this week.
It's true.
Probably at church on Sunday.
Yeah, cool.
Nice, man. Cool.
Jane did bring up another interesting topic.
Okay.
that maybe if we have time, we can hit on.
Sure.
How do you guys feel about the right to die?
How do I wait? What?
Yeah, so I looked this up because I wanted to make sure I understood it as well. So it's essentially people with terminal illnesses and stuff like that. How do you feel about like them choosing to be able to euthanize, like voluntarily get euthanized?
Okay, so essentially, it's like almost like a gosh. Oh, I don't even know how to explain it in like my own terms.
Basically, they're voluntarily choosing to die.
To die, to do a medical death. Like,
Gotcha.
They're getting euthanized. And
Okay.
So-
Yeah. Actually, I remember a story about a lady. It was a really big story because I think she was younger, but I think she had found out she had stage 4 cancer or something like that, and then she just decided to take that pill that killed her.
Right. So stuff.
So it's like that.
Yeah, stuff along those lines.
Okay. And she's asking if what's the
Just
question?
just what are our thoughts on it?
I tell you what. It is an interesting topic. I think that it's still, it's still a way of like kind of like choosing, like you're choosing your own fate in a way. So like to me, I'm like, I don't really agree with it, because I know situations can be bad. Like I know that, but like, I don't know, man. To me, it's still putting like your own life in your own hands in a way. And like, I don't know. I don't like it.
Now this
I,
just
I would agree to that, but the human side of me also can understand why they would want to make that decision.
Yeah.
Because if you know that that's not going to be a quality of life, you know that you're going to invest that much money, in trying all the stuff for it just not to work, and you'd rather leave that money to like family. I could see that, but I think, like you said, if you still choose that option, who's to say if God can't turn that around? If God can raise Jesus from the dead, it's very possible that he can turn whatever sickness and heal from that. So you're robbing God of an opportunity to prove how real he is, but also at the same time, like I can understand the desire or the want, the thoughts behind it.
maybe.
But it doesn't mean it's right. But I can see where they're
No,
coming from.
I agree, and like if I wanted to play devil's advocate, like what if the person like they have something that like they actually are like painfully suffering and there's no actual cure,
Right.
Other than putting them in a coma. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And at that point, how expensive that must be.
Right.
Again, I'm not saying I agree with it, but like you could make that argument of
Yeah.
like, does God want his people to suffer?
I think it's good, man. I think of Job.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think, God wants his people to suffer, but I think that God wants his children to have faith that he's good. So like, I think that to me, it's part of that faith is having trust that God's in control and that no matter what happens, that it's good for it. He's in it for the good. So like trusting. So instead of taking that control into your own hands, like letting it play out to see what God does. Maybe he does take you. Maybe that is the end, right? But also, what if there's a miraculous recovery and you can use that as a testimony? So it's like, it's hard for me to agree that it's to do it. So
I agree. Yeah, because at the end of the day, whether it's medically or not, you're deciding that your plan is better than God's. That you know better than God.
yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to. We got some comments here.
They're coming at it.
Oh yeah, it's a super hard choice. It is, Denise.
Definitely is.
Let's see. I think they should be legally allowed to do so if they wish. Who am I to force someone to do something they don't want to do? Wait. So okay. I think I'm misreading that. in my
So,
mind.
like what I think what Trent's saying is that the person should be legally allowed to make that decision if they want to, without someone saying you can't have that, taking that choice away from them.
Gotcha.
And then Denise and Jane asked pretty much the same question. What about pulling the plug?
Yeah. It's a hard choice.
And would you, if you knew ahead, would you ask somebody to pull the plug? I
It's a hard
can't.
choice, man.
It is like in and of myself, like I can't say because I'm not in that situation
Yeah.
that I wouldn't say, one way or the other. I would want to be able to say that I would tell them, no, don't pull it. Let God work it out. But it's hard
That would be hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
until you're
it's
in
hard.
that situation.
Absolutely, it's hard.
I'm trying to think through it because
Yeah, I'm pondering.
it is an interesting thing because Denise even asked like, so should we not sign DNRs as Christians? It's a
Do not resuscitate.
Yeah, do not resuscitate. So that's
Oh, okay.
essentially like, hey, like if I go into cardiac arrest, like
Yeah.
don't perform CPR to save my life. Like, just
Gotcha.
let me go.
Gotcha.
And Trent did say that what you said is what he was trying to say.
Yeah. So you're saying, so we're not supposed to sign DNRs?
As Christians.
Gotcha.
Or like Jane asked up there too. She's like, like when it comes to financial hardships of life and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like, and if you know where you're going, and you know that like you're going to die anyways, like pulling the plug, that type of thing. Like, is it?
Yeah. It's good questions, guys.
Doesn't that also go thinking about how to tie that to the Bible? Doesn't talk about how everything's not always permissible.
Yeah.
Like just because it might seem like a good option doesn't mean it's the right option.
And anything, I know which one. And anything can be permissible. That doesn't make it beneficial. Because I think that's Paul somewhere. in
I'd have to look it up.
maybe Corinthians. I don't know. I'm not sure. Corinthians or Ephesians, maybe. But yeah, there is that verse as well. Like, sure, is it permissible? Yes, but is it beneficial? Does someone benefit from it?
So, I don't know, man. These are good questions. You guys are making me think.
Yeah, and anything's permissible. Yeah, Denise just said anything's permissible, but not everything is beneficial. Right.
As far as the like do not resuscitate stuff, like I don't know, man. I would say that like somebody trying to save your life is not a bad thing. So like I would say that I guess not sign it. But like, I can also see the argument of like, well, if that's how I'm destined to go, that's how I go. But it's like, I don't know, man. Also, what it makes me think of is like, this is one of those areas where it's not necessarily just like directly here it is, So it's kind of one of those weird gray areas, which is it's good questions because that's what people think about.
So I think I kind of landed somewhere.
Okay.
And if you guys like, let's talk about it. I'm not, but kind of, I was thinking through it, and while you were talking, because you said something that made me think of this. At the end of the day, right? If someone who's doing that is trying to say that you want to take control of when you go, which it goes back to like what we all kind of said of like at the end of the day, you're not trusting God. You're not your life is not really in your hands because God's God. Right? If He wants you healed, He'll heal you and He'll use it.
Yeah.
If He doesn't, like you have to trust that there's going to be something good because of it, or He has a good reason for it.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where I land is like at the end of the day, if a lot of times those people just want to have the control of when they go.
Sure.
And that side of it is not biblical because
agreed.
You're trying to play God at that point.
Yep.
Because you're trying to say this is when I go, right? And
It's good stuff, man. I like where you're going.
yeah, so
It's the heart behind it.
yes, the heart behind it because at that point you're saying, right? I mean, I could keep going in circles, but you're saying
Sure.
I know better than God when it comes to my time to go. I go when I'm ready, not when God tells me. Right? And the only person we know in the Bible who said that and was correct was Jesus, because He said, you're not going to take my life. I'm going to lay it down. But He was also fully God, so that's a little bit different. A lot of people who sign DNRs are older people. You have to break, of course. You have to break their ribs to perform CPR. That is true. Sometimes even when they save them, they may never recover from the injuries that are caused in CPR. And that is true. When it comes to CPR, they tell you that like be ready for two things: breaking ribs and for the person to throw up.
Wow.
Like, 'cause like if essentially, like I got told, if you're not breaking their ribs, you're probably not like going in deep enough on your
Wow.
compressions.
That's wild.
That's what I was told when I was trained.
Dang.
Because you have to push through the sternum to
Mm-hmm.
get to the heart when you do it. So, did not know that. Let's see.
I agree with what you said, Blake. I think that it's the heart behind why they're doing it. Like even like a DNR, if you're signing a do not resuscitate because you just want to die, like you're like, oh, my time's gone, whatever. Like I'm going to take control of that by signing this. It's like it's weird, hard to have behind it. But like I don't know. It's good. I don't know. It's a good question. So like I think what you said, Blake, is really good, man. It's the heart behind why you're doing what you're doing.
I was told the same, Blake. Okay. Yeah. So or something. Don't quote me and puncture how long. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think it is hard because they brought up like when it comes to the elderly, like they're already. I don't mean to be morbid, right?
Sure.
So I apologize, but like they're already kind of on that brink of like
Sure.
they could go any moment.
Yeah.
So I don't know. When it comes to the DNRs, I'm not gonna say it's a gray area because we know that that's not like God doesn't leave us gray areas, right? But I don't know. It is tough because it does come down. I don't know. I think at the end of
Almost
the day,
like pray about it and trust the Holy Spirit. And
Yeah.
if He's willing to, if this Holy Spirit told you don't do it, then are you willing to not do it because the Holy Spirit told you not to do it?
that's true. That's true too. If that's if that's something you're so, which it goes back to what you said, it's all about the heart. If you're in a place where you're like, no matter I'm gonna go pray, but no matter what, I'm gonna do it anyways.
Yep.
It's not in the right heart behind it.
Yep. It's good.
You can still be a full code. 6 months or less in my profession, but you can still be a full code. Yeah. So
Hope that answers you guys' question. That's a good.
if not, let us know. But that's
questions.
definitely something that that's not one of those ones that you can just be like, boom, here's your answer.
Yep.
Yep.
Unfortunately, but I do hope we answered it.
Yep. I like what you said, Norman. The whole, like the Holy Spirit's real. Do you trust it or not? When you pray, do you believe the prayer that God's going to answer your prayer? It's really good because like He's going to guide you. That's right. So that's good.
Yeah. Thanks for, yeah, absolutely. That's what we're here for.
That's
Denise.
what real talk's all about.
It's real talk, and like we said, we may not know every answer, but we're gonna try
Chop
to
it
give
up.
you something, or be like, listen, this is where we're at, and we can go from there.
Yep, that's right.
So cool. Do we have any anonymous questions?
We do actually.
Awesome.
Fun turn. I don't know if you got it or not. Did you get it back there? Okay. So he's working on it. So it's a good question.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in tonight while we get that ready. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's been a cool episode, man.
Absolutely.
Good questions.
We've ever since we came back, we've been trying to kind of recoup from the ban of shadows from
That's
the
right,
Book
man.
of Face
That's right, man. It's been
And
hard.
all their social media.
and other medias of the socials.
That's right, man. They're,
But yeah,
not
we thank
fans
you
of
guys.
us.
Yeah, continue to like and share it so we can get back. Not for us, but so we can have these conversations with people. 'Cause even our church, like, I can't tell you the amount of people that came because of Real Talk, because of Real Talk Live, and people that have come and gotten saved or whatever because
Wild,
of
man.
this.
It's crazy.
So just because they have the opportunity that most people don't have.
Trent.
And not that actually, Trent, I'm not gonna lie, my first thought was that as well, but all right, cool. I think Fun Turn said we're ready, so whenever you're ready.
All right, cool. It says, so I've been seeing a lot of posts on social media about gender swapping and men trying to be women, and how now men are saying that they can get pregnant because they are transgender men, but they're calling themselves men. I guess my question is, how do I comment on things, or how do I fight against that stuff to help encourage people towards God when it comes to transgender?
Oh boy. Okay. So I think, first of all, because I appreciate the fact that the last part is like, how do I comment on these things or fight against this stuff to encourage people towards God, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the good stuff. Because originally I was like, I wanted to be a little sarcastic, but then I wasn't. They put that, and I was like, nope. Okay. So I think remembering and encouraging that at the end of the day, God made us exactly how we're supposed to be.
Yep.
And whatever we feel is not always reality, right?
Definitely.
The feelings can be the feelings are 100% are real, right? Like, I won't argue the fact that like a homosexual could be attracted to, like a man could be attracted to a man. Or
Sure.
whatever. I wouldn't argue that, because at the end of the day, a sin's a sin. Or maybe they do feel like that, like, well, maybe I feel like a girl or whatever.
Yeah.
But that doesn't come from God. That doesn't come from who you're actually supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right? That's not who God made you. God didn't make you to question it. Right? Because we also know God's not a God of confusion. He doesn't try to confuse us or trick us, or he's not playing little jokes on us to be like, haha, like you're a girl in a guy's body. Like he doesn't do that.
Nope.
He won't do that. So I think when it comes to those, like, use truth. And it, at the end of the day, truth is truth, regardless of who stands with you or who you're talking to or whatever it is. Truth is truth.
Yep.
And as long as that truth is biblical and it lines up with God's word, it doesn't matter if people agree or not. It is what it is.
That's right, man. It's good. It's really well said, man.
So
Really
I
well said.
just encourage the idea that God doesn't make mistakes either.
It's good.
Right? Like God isn't going to put a woman in a guy's body or vice versa, whatever it is. God wouldn't do that. God is perfect. So when he makes us perfect, right? He makes us perfect in our mother's wombs, but it's the sin of the world that can warp us in that.
Yep.
Right? And so we could probably go way deeper into that with different areas that a person could get to that place.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it's the sin of the world warping the mind and the thoughts of that child who grows up to be this person or whatever.
Yep.
So
It's good, man.
I think you also ask yourself what's your reasoning for doing it. If you're going to go in there just straight attacking the person and not doing it in love, then pray about it first. Get your heart right, because if you're going out there and attacking them, you're setting an atmosphere where they're not going to listen to you anyways.
Yep.
So that conversation is not going to be biblical. And then reminding them that God still loves them at the end of it.
yeah, absolutely.
Because they hear that whole thing that it's striking at your identity, which again is trying to take control. You're saying that I'm God, I know better than God because God made me this way, but I'm choosing to be this way. So you're putting your beliefs over God in that moment. So definitely pray about it before you go into those conversations.
Yeah, it's good.
And definitely pray, because there's some people that like to just bait people on those conversations. And so if it's a hostile already, then be leery of it, because they're just wanting
They're looking
response.
for it. Yeah. And I think John and Jane kind of both hit on this, but they love them like Jesus would, right? And then Jane said, these people have been through serious trauma, stuff like that. They become what they are because it feels safer.
Yeah.
It's important to see past the sin of it and see them as human beings in need of grace, just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Because that's the big thing. Is that, again, it's almost frustrating. So we're talking about it in this tribe series. Like Pastor Todd's been talking about on Sundays. But like the church with a capital C is starting to get a bad rap because of certain sects of the church, right? These certain churches or denominations or whatever that are going about it in a way that isn't biblical.
Yep.
And so that's become the truth of it, right? But in all reality, the homosexual man in a homosexual relationship or whatever is no different than me.
Yep.
The only difference is I've accepted Jesus. That's it. That is the only difference in God's eyes between us. Is that I've accepted Christ and they haven't. That's it. I'm a sinner. I still sin. I mess up. I still have lust and sexual desires, and I still have all those things.
Yep.
That doesn't change.
Nope.
And that's the big thing. It's almost I don't know where the whole like homosexual, like why that's a big thing. Like when it comes to homosexuality and transgenderism and all this stuff, I don't understand. I guess I've never like looked back to see like, oh, this is when it became this huge, monument.
What's funny is I actually just saw a video. I won't get too in depth to it because taking a long tangent, but this guy was a director of something like Rumors or something in that community, and he literally said he went in front of a school board and said, you need to take these flags down because this actually represents sexuality. So I think from where I think it went twisted was they taking what the true intent of the flag means and trying to tie it to something else to make it seem okay. So they've taken sin and tried justifying it and saying, well, it's really love. And I think that's where the line got blurry.
And that's how the enemy works, right? The enemy takes something that is true, right, and then twist it just enough. He did it with Adam and Eve. He tried to do it with Jesus even, because that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't remember is Satan, the enemy. He knows truth. He knows the Bible, and that's part of the reason that he's so dangerous to people. Is because he can take something like, listen, it's just love, right?
Did God really say?
Did God really say this, right? Well, God is love, and if they say they love, if that man says he loves another man, then God must be in it. But that's not true, right? But he's able to take those little things and twist them just enough.
No,
That's
absolutely.
really good, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jane says it reminds her of the woman that committed adultery and when Jesus stood beside her.
Yep.
So, because he didn't condemn her either.
No, he didn't.
Yep. Yeah, because even the end of the story he goes, look around, who's condemning you? And she says, no one. He goes, then I don't condemn you either, right? Because no one's without sin.
That's right.
No one was even there.
It's just it's almost ironic the other side of it though that like when it comes to sexuality that is a hot button topic because it's in our minds constantly, right? And what's the one sin that we're told to not fight? When it comes to sexual sin, we're told to not fight it, but to flee, to run away. So, of course, the one that we're told to stay the farthest away from is the one the enemy would use to try to draw us in.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely.
So,
Good stuff, man.
You guys are bringing it tonight, too.
Oh, yeah. Good topics, man. Good discussion. Awesome. And you guys have done a great job.
Oh, it's been fun.
Absolutely.
It's been real.
It's been real.
Real fun.
We've had some talk that's been real.
That's right.
Here on live, it's just
It's the name of it all, right?
it's right, man. No, but thank you guys for ever asked that question. Like that's good stuff
Definitely.
too.
Yep.
So
we do not have any more.
No more anonymous?
questions. Nope. I don't see any more.
well, we'll probably it's a little after 10. You want to do one more question and then try to close up, or you want to?
Personally, for me, I love the longer shows.
I got you. No, I know.
Because I enjoy the conversations, because this is just another thing that we should be doing, not just on Thursdays. This is something that we should be doing throughout, because that's another way of carrying each other's burdens, because we all have these kind of questions. And so when we're able to dive in, talk about these questions with each other, that's just, doing what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's good. And we're probably gonna be closing up here shortly, guys. So slide your questions in. We'll do one here because I think it kind of ties into some of the stuff we've been talking about recently. Let's do question number 4. Fun turn. We'll do question 4 here. And it says, how do we accurately determine the differences between cultural laws and commands that are meant to dictate the behavior of his followers? Right. And I think it kind of goes back to some of the stuff that we've talked about how the world can warp things, right? At the end of the day, use the Bible.
I was about to say, use the Bible.
The Bible is God's word, right? Like that is God's word in paper form, right? It's right here. This is God directly speaking to us, telling us how to live, what to do, what to believe. Right. So when there's anything that you're like, oh, I don't know, go to the Bible. If you don't know where to find it, ask people. That's the other side of it. Be in a type of community, a church-led community, a Christian community, which I think we do a really good job of here. Shameless plug. But be in a type of community that can help with it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. You hit the nail on the head. Use the Bible. If you're a believer out there and you ask this question, go to the Bible, dive into the Bible and learn and recognize that, it gives you the answer here. I know an example that can be used here, between how do you tell the difference between cultural laws and commands that are meant to dictate behavior of the followers? You know, I know like the Bible says, you know, you should obey the laws of the land. That's true. You should obey the laws of the land until it becomes against Christ. You know, that's when, you know, and that's when you got to draw the line. And, you know, that's one thing, you know, to keep in mind, you know, whoever asks this question, use the Bible, you know, and recognize that, you know, yes, we are called to obey, you know, these cultural laws that are put into place, you know, because we are meant to trust, you know, we're meant to trust that. But if it goes against your direct beliefs of the Bible, if it starts to cut, you know, if it starts to, you know, affect how you can follow Jesus, yeah, that's why do you think Paul was in chains? You know, like
Going back to what we said before is trust in the Holy Spirit. Like if it's not clear, if you got to ask yourself the question, like if it doesn't say clear cut in the Bible, don't do this. Ask yourself the question, if God was to tell me to give this up, could I give it up? And if your answer is no, don't do it. Like it, because then that becomes an idol. That's something you're putting and saying, God, I trust what I think about this, that it's right, it's okay, and I don't care what you say about
that's
it.
right, man.
Absolutely. You know, and I think the other side of it too is like being part of that community is being able to have these conversations. So you know, because a lot of times we don't want to face the fact that sometimes God can speak to us through somebody else.
Yep.
Right? We want to only have a connection. Me and God, man, that's where it's at, right? Or how often do we hear someone say, well, me and God handled that, or like that's between me and God? Like, no, like he's told us, like, be in community for this reason.
That's right.
You know, because there's even you know, like there's even little sayings that when it comes to like cultural laws, right, that we've all, at least myself and I know some others, have accepted as biblical that aren't. You
That's
know,
right.
like the saying, like God only helps those who helps themselves, who help themselves. That's not true. That's not biblical. There, no.
That's
Show
not, it's not in the Bible.
We did that one day.
If you can tell me in the Bible where it says that, I'll give you $100,000 right now.
That's a lot of money.
I don't have it, but I'll find it probably. But it's not in there. Like
buy some lotto tickets.
There's a couple other ones that like I know are commonplace that have either been twisted or it's not the full saying either. And so people, it's been taken out of context. But
It's good, man.
see, and then Jane asked us, she was reading Genesis about the story of the flood. God destroyed the earth because of rampant sin and immorality. In the end, he chose the rainbow as a sign that he would never flood the earth again. I find it ironic the rainbow is a sign that was adopted by the LGBTQ community. Thoughts?
It's definitely ironic. I think that's like a
intentional.
direct, you know, like almost like mockery from the enemy, in my opinion. So
Yeah, that's, Trent said that John 10:10, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. It came that they may have life and have it abundantly. Makes sense the enemy would steal the symbol of God's promise.
Yep.
Because like you said, when it comes to it's just a flag that symbolizes love. Yeah, that's supposed to symbolize God's love for us.
Yep.
But instead, we've let the world take it and turn it into something else.
I definitely think it was definitely intentional that it was chosen that way. And like as the video said, the guy said that symbol is supposed to represent sexuality. Well, why did God flood the world? Is because of sexuality, homosexuality, like
And that
so.
type of sin, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it also goes to point out the fact that like as Christians, like we've as a whole, right? We have let the world take things from us that shouldn't, like the rainbow, for example. If you're scrolling through Facebook, right, or whatever social media, and you just see a picture of just like stripes, you know, rainbow stripes across the thing, everybody's first thought is what?
Is
LGBTQ.
Yep.
Right? But the true meaning of it was God's promise to not do that again. Right? And there's so many other things that we've let the world as Christians take over that, like, why don't we take it back? Like, there's nothing wrong with the things that we like to do or that we whatever it is, and that, I think that's a really cool symbol of it.
Yeah.
Is the idea of a rainbow. We've appeased, right, the world so much to let them have certain things that it's become it's all been twisted and warped. The things that
Our silence has allowed them
our silence, or because we're like, oh, we'll just let them have the rainbow so they don't take this, but like that was God's promise to us. Man.
That's really good, man. It's really good. I like that.
So
Had an idea spark. I had to write
boy.
it down. So that's
Nice.
what I did.
and pervert the symbol because the rainbow has 7 colors and the pride has 6. Right. So they've taken it. They changed it just enough to.
Yep.
Yep.
Because again, you want to
Instead,
talk.
it's supposed to be a holy number.
Yep. And you want to talk about, the enemy twisting things. He couldn't use he couldn't use the symbol of God's actual promise, right? So
Yep.
he had to twist it just enough to where it looks
Distort
it looks almost the same, but it's not.
It's
That's really
foggy in
good,
the
man.
mirror.
I love it.
So
Jane, you're a good thinker.
yeah,
Good
we
questions.
appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll slip one in there real quick.
A question?
Yeah. What do you think about the end of humanity? Will we know when it's going to happen? Have you seen signs?
Oh boy.
So I think if you can see signs, like if you can twist anything to make it look like a sign. So what I take into when I hear about these things is it says that it's not for us to know the times or dates the Father set by his own authority. So when God's going to come back, he's going to come back. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
So don't be so focused on. We don't need to be so focused on when God's coming back. It's what are we doing with the time while we're here?
That's true.
Like, are we trying to bring people to Christ? Like, and that should be our driving factor, because there are some denominations that are so focused on that that in a way that's become an idol. Is God's coming back? Yes, he is going to come back, but it's not for us to focus on that, because if we focus on that, then we're missing the purpose of why he came.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, I believe there's a verse that says we're not going to know when it comes because it'll come like a thief in the night.
That's
It's
right.
it's just going to be, oh, by the way, it's here.
Yep.
And I think the interesting part too, John says, Book of Revelation, so long as your heart is with Jesus, you're okay, right? And I think that's really good. And don't focus so much on finding the signs, because there's Bible also talks about don't read into anything too much, because it'll pull your attention away. Right?
Yep.
Don't let yourself be so focused on trying to find the signs that your attention gets pulled away from Christ, from God, because that's what the enemy wants, right? Because 100% the enemy could throw out signs, right? We know the Antichrist is even going to do that. It's going to be able to perform miracles, right? But the enemy is going to be able to make signs that look similar or just like what Revelation may say, because he knows it, but it may not be true. So I would say, don't, like you said, don't focus on it. Just go love Jesus, bring people to him, because we know that when it comes, people are going to have a choice, and there's still going to be people that don't side with God, even though he's like, Jesus will be here.
That's right. I believe Daniel tried to ask God when it was going to come, and he said, "Don't worry about it." Essentially,
Yeah, it's not for you to know.
yeah. So it's good stuff. Man.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, guys.
Awesome. And she said, have you seen signs? Could we have seen signs? Sure. But I'm not going to say that, I'm not going to be like, yeah, by the way.
Yeah, we're not going to claim. I'm not going to claim that.
You guys got 26 hours.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
I'm not God.
Yeah. If anything, I feel like there's an analogy used somewhere in the Bible, and I can't remember exactly where it's at, but I think it goes along with the thief in the night verse, where it talks about like, you should be ready as if it's tomorrow. But what that means is not freak out, like you said. That doesn't mean, but what it does mean is take your faith seriously. But what it also means more than anything is, where's your heart at in spreading the gospel? Like, take it that too. Like, if you know without a shadow of a doubt that you're saved, why don't you spread that to the rest of the world? Like, there's people out there dying, and they don't even know it. And so like, that, when he comes like a thief in the night, like, it's too late, so it's like, what are you doing to spread that hope to people, to spread the word of Christ, to spread the gospel? It's good news, and it's coming soon, but for those, it's also not good news. So like, I don't know, man, that's another thing that made me think of. So
Let's see.
yeah, good point, John.
Yeah, I like that. Do not worry, do not be anxious.
Yep.
You should be worrying about it. And Trent said, the nation of Israel being born in 1948 was a pretty huge prophecy fulfilled.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, there's definitely, I will say, to not go into major detail, like, there are things happening that could point towards the end of humanity's coming. But if anything, like, kind of like what I said, like, if these things that are happening are true, that should make us even more urgent to tell the gospel. Shouldn't be. It shouldn't be fearful what's to come for ourselves. If anything, it should be for the ones who aren't believers.
Yeah.
So
No, that's really good.
yeah,
Using that to help focus on bringing others to Christ.
absolutely.
That's good. Awesome.
Heck yeah, man.
It's been a pretty good show.
Absolutely, man. I've had a fun time.
Yeah. It's been awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right. This is your guys' last chance. If you're slipping any questions, we're going to be closing up.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'll check here.
See if we got anything anonymous. If not,
Seem to
little refresh.
refresh,
While he's
that's
doing
right.
that, thank you guys so much once again for hopping on and joining us. I enjoy doing this, and it's truly an honor to be able to do it. And like we said, we just do it so you guys have an opportunity to ask these questions and get answers. Because I know for me growing up, that wasn't something I always had in church. Was something to
This question was coming.
was a place to be able to ask these deep questions and have a deep conversation
Yeah,
about
man.
anything. So,
It's good,
Alex.
man. Alex says, "What socks you wearing?" Well, Norm, why don't you show them what socks
Yeah.
you're wearing? 'Cause I already know.
I don't know if I can put my leg up that high, but so they are shark socks
of course, they are.
with
Yeah.
Christmas hats on the shark.
That's awesome.
Gosh dang. it.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie; those actually look pretty cool.
I know, right?
I like.
I don't think you guys won't smell my shoes, so we
No,
won't put it
no,
up
no,
here.
Sounds good, man.
Oh boy.
I've got your standard black socks on. I don't have very well. I have design socks somewhere. I just don't ever wear them, man.
Dude, you know what you just reminded me of? I have an entire box of Mandalorian socks upstairs
That's
that,
That's amazing.
that I forgot about from Christmas.
Heck yeah, dude.
But currently, I'm not wearing those. I got white Pumas on. That's it.
I got
Yeah.
cool socks to just choose not
I
to
don't
wear.
even know
them.
the brand of mine.
Oh gosh,
That's my life,
Shark
Alex. Is
socks
just
are
crazy
awesome.
socks.
Yes.
James.
Thanks for chipping in, James.
Is
you've been saying a lot of cool stuff.
That might be. I could be wrong, James. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but that might be Jimothy.
Is it?
It might be. I'm not sure. It just
That's
might.
awesome if
It
it
just
is.
might be Jimothy.
If it is, it's awesome.
But cool.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, I want to know now.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
She's responding to the 1948 comment by Trent.
48.
Yeah.
James said you're correct.
Hey.
It is.
Nice.
It is Jimothy.
That's awesome. Hey, thanks for hopping on, Jimothy. Appreciate
Yeah.
you, man.
Thanks,
And
man.
Jane is roasting you right now, Blake, by the way.
You have Mando socks and you don't wear them to Real Talk. Listen, okay? I'm sorry. There's Grogu socks, Mandalorian socks. I think I've worn like the Rebel Alliance ones a few times, but it's a whole pack of them. I forgot about them, but I'm going to start wearing them every Thursday now. Just
There were,
because of
man,
this.
when we were on top of the world for a minute at Real
This was
Talk Live, people used to send us socks. I don't know if you guys
Yes,
remember this.
yes.
People used to send us socks to wear, man.
Yep.
Wild
One of
times.
the greatest Christmas gifts I ever got in my entire life was a sock subscription.
Yes.
You remember this?
I remember you talking about
would
this.
I would get a pair of like awesome socks every month for an entire year.
That's
It was
awesome.
It was like every month when they would come in, it was like Christmas.
Heck yeah.
Ooh, Willie's dropping some truth here.
Okay.
No one knows when Jesus will come for his church. They call that the rapture. When that happens, that's a pretty good sign that the end is coming. Yeah.
I
right,
mean,
Willie.
yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Jane's
Please
not
wear
letting
cooler
go.
socks. She's calling
She's
you out.
yeah.
Dang, roasted.
But all right, awesome. It has been a good show. John
Absolutely.
said it, you guys, and that's thanks to you guys too for bringing up those cool topics.
Yep. Yeah,
But
man.
yeah, AJ, you got anything?
Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Real Talk Live tonight. It's been a blast. Just thank you guys so much. You know, you guys are the reason why we do this. This is community time, by the way. This is a form of community. You know, so you know, if you're one of those people that have a hard, you know, if you know anybody has a hard time getting into church, or maybe you know they've been hurt by the church, or you know they need some sort of introductory into church again, invite them on to Real Talk Live. It's a great place to come in and just you know chip in, and you don't have to say anything. You can just sit back and watch, and you're still getting something from it. So invite your friends, invite those people that you think could benefit from it. Other than that, you guys are awesome. I love you. Thank you. And Norm, thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
thanks for coming on, Norman. It's been a blast, dude.
I
You always
enjoyed it.
provide fun stuff and cool shark socks.
That's right.
Always.
That's right.
But like AJ said, this is cool community time. And this show, you know, is sponsored by the Remnant Church in Columbia City. So come check us out. Services are Sundays at 11. And we do something special afterwards. We do a free meal.
Free meal.
Free
Love
community
food.
meal. Remember we talked about community? Huh?
Community,
Huh?
hey.
So free community meal afterwards. Come and just hang out. We'd love to meet you guys. We hope this reaches you guys. And everything here at the end of the day, just remember that like Jesus loves you. He was a real man and he lived a perfect life and he died to take your place for the things that we deserve. But God loves you so much and he wants a relationship with you so much that he was willing to do that. So thank you guys so much for hopping on tonight. We love you. God loves you. Have a good week, and God bless you guys.
Yeah. Freaking. Yeah, still alive.
No.